So I'm thinking about going to treat myself. No, not to ice cream, which I ate. I ate a fucking gallon of ice cream. A gallon, yeah. Not all in one sitting, but a couple hours apart. This caramel brownie Moose Tracks. Oh my God. The best. Anyways, I'm thinking about going to see the movie, The Smashing Machine. It's about UFC Pride fighter, Mark Kerr. And I'm thinking about going to see it. I just seen the trailer for it. It's been out in, it's been, you know, talked about being made, and it's finally been made, and I've watched the trailer. I've watched the trailer for it. You know, The Rock plays Mark Kerr. Emily Blunt, or I think that's how you pronounce her name. She plays his girlfriend, fiance. I think her name was Dawn. I'd really like to hear, you know, Dawn's perspective of everything, you know, because they had such, if you've watched the movie or the documentary about Mark Kerr called The Smashing Machine, it's fucking hard to watch, man. It's pretty volatile, you know. That is a good look. It's pretty volatile. It's so nice out today. It's like 73 degrees. This is the first, like, roll your windows down drive without, you know, it's just beautiful out. I just, it's so hard to watch being an addict in recovery myself, and then being in a relationship with someone that was on and off, sober, not sober, using, whatever, and just the volatility of the relationship I was in, and watching that, and it's like, it's just, you know, like, it's fucking tough to watch, but it's such a good story. Seeing this kid who was a wrestler from Syracuse, I think he grew up in Ohio, but he was at Syracuse University for a while. He got kicked out, got fucking juiced up on the PED train, and just fucking was a monster physique. But it was just such a, you know, like, you know, just how he acted compared to most competitors that were in MMA. He wasn't some, you know, dickbag fucking dude that just was, you know, big and bulky. And I really think that's a side effect of steroids too, is it makes fucking people, you know, arrogant, you know. And Mark Kerr was just a really soft-spoken, like, down-to-earth guy that just was built like fucking a statue, you know, a very imposing statue. And it was so funny to, like, just hear him talk about how scared he was, you know, like, in the ring, you know, like, he you know, he had like a physique like Brock Lesnar would want, you know, like, he was fucking built. I mean, fuck, you know. And it just, you know, what the story, he's, you know, obviously everybody back then and even continuing now is using performance-enhancing drugs in the late 80s, 90s, you know, and they weren't really testing for it. I don't think they were really testing, to be honest with you, anyways. But, you know, like, just seeing somebody, the UFC used to be so, like, legit exciting because you just didn't know what somebody was going to be like as a fighter. Like, you would see somebody built like Mark Kerr and they would suck, or you'd see somebody that looked like they would suck and they would, you know, that's the thing that was awesome about it, you know. Like, I just watched a fight last night with Mark Kerr and a guy named, like, Ranger Stott or something. This guy has his own fighting style, the Ranger fighting da-da-da-da-da, and it's like, dude, the dude literally had literally, like, I'm just saying, like, people just, there's a martial arts academy near my house that I think is a total fucking joke. I mean, I was just watching the kids, the grown-ups, like, throw punches and shit, and it's like, man, if that's how you're teaching people to throw punches, there's no fucking way this is a legit academy. and there's just so much writing. I don't know, it's just all this bullshit of like, oh, he said he had 28-0 record in Army fucking contact, Army Ranger full contact fighting. And it's like, when the fuck was there an Army full contact fighting situation? You know what I mean? Like, it's just... And then the dude's like, you gotta look up the fight. Mark Kerr versus, I want to say Ranger Stott is his name or whatever, but you'll be able to find it on YouTube. The dude literally, like, looks like he's 5'4", looks like fucking SpongeBob. And he's throwing like a kick and trying all this, like, and all it happens in like 5 seconds. And Mark just takes him and grabs him and fucking just knees him right in the face and knocks the dude the fuck out in like 14 seconds. It's insanity, that the dude didn't die. But I don't know, it's just a really, I loved Pride. A friend of mine in jiu-jitsu turned me on to Pride back in the day. We used to watch the fights late at night, and turned me on to Mirko Cro Cop. I think his name is Joseph Flippin, Flippin. I really think is his name. I think he's in the FBI now. Him, my friend Andrew, who works for Penske in Wilmington, and some of the guys that I just knew from the gym. It was called the Spa Health Club on like 17th Street in Fishyard Boulevard or fucking something, Shipyard Boulevard. I'm just thinking of the streets in Wilmington, North Carolina. But yeah, like we used to get together and we would roll in the fucking aerobic room with the mats and stuff and hurt each other and learn new techniques and try shit out. And I remember the one dude that was a personal trainer, he was built too, but he just would not, like, he had zero, like, he wasn't like, he didn't grow up with brothers and he didn't really fight, in high school, and he just didn't have any fight IQ, and he was like not wanting to learn how to defend certain like jiu-jitsu things, like a rear naked choke or a Kimura, or like how to wiggle out of an armbar and shit. And I just remember telling him, well, when he gets you in, the dude's a jiu-jitsu guy, when he gets you in one of these holds, which he's going to try to do, you're not going to know how to get out of it, and it's going to end quickly, and that's what happened. But anyways, getting back to the story. It was the Wild Wild West back then in Pride and in the UFC, and you had guys like Don Fry, Mark Coleman, all of these guys were early purveyors of the sport. And you don't really think about it. I think about it now. But there wasn't no fucking medical insurance if something happened to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think, unless you got hurt in the fight, maybe. But after that, it was like, you kind of just went to the hospital and you were on your own. So I'm looking forward to, I'm looking forward to going to see it and letting you, I'm putting the trailer up here on my YouTube. So, all right, folks.